First of all, we want to thank you all for coming tonight, and this certainly is a unusual way of doing it. We normally have a meeting in the spring down at the school and bring everybody in and get a chance to kind of lay it out. Um, but we weren't exactly sure what that was going to look like in the spring, and we're actually not even allowed in the buildings for about another week. So we just wanted to get everybody together and kind of give you an idea for how this semester is going to roll out as we proceed here. My name is Jim Graham. I am one of the automotive instructors. I teach automotive electrical and electronics. With us is Mr. Bruick. Mr. Bruick, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm right here, Bob Bruick or Mr. Bruick. I teach engine performance. And again, I know this has probably been very, very trying on everybody, but we're going to get through this. We're actually excited.
Mr. Siemens.
I'm Casey Seaman. I teach automotive brake, steering, and suspension. I'm excited to see this new year, even with the trying times we're going through. But like Mr. Bruick said, we'll get through it and have a bunch of fun doing it.
All right, and then not with us tonight, at least not yet, is Mr. Van Pelt is our auto collision instructor, and Mr. Rickard is engines and manual transmission. So basically, as we're talking tonight, and they may pop in, I'm not sure, but as we're talking tonight, we'll talk in general terms. And this pretty much everything we talk about tonight will apply to all of our classes. Some of us have seen our class list in a very, very short manner, and we still don't know all the details. We just kind of have an idea for who is assigned to us, just not when. And then last, I'll introduce Mr. Roebuck. Mr. Roebuck's our assistant principal in our building. Mr. Roebuck.
All right, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm thrilled that we've got over 50 people, 60 right now, that have joined us. But, I really do think we're going to have a great year. I truly believe that. I think our instructors are ready to provide each one of you young men and young ladies out there that are going to be joining us a great learning opportunity. If you look at the positives to this thing by coming 2 or 3 days a week, that means when you're in the shop and you're doing the hands-on work, you're going to have a really good ratio between students and teacher. Most days you're probably going to have anywhere between 6 or 9 students, whether in the morning or in the afternoon. You guys have already been divided into groups A and B. I do believe next week is when Fort Wayne Community Schools will be reaching out to you and letting you know. I think with that letter you had my email address, and I would say by the end of next week or by the mid to late next week, if you don't know yet, start hounding me. Go ahead and email me, and I will start looking it up. And as soon as I get the green light to let everybody know whether you're in group A or B, I will give you that information. So basically, if you're in group A, it's real simple. You just come to school on Mondays and Thursdays, and then every other Wednesday. Fort Wayne Community Schools decided last night to delay their start until August the 13th, which is a Wednesday. So that means cohort A will come on that Wednesday, and then Thursday would be another cohort A, and then Friday would be cohort B. It's my understanding. So if that changes, we're going to let you know and keep you posted. But that's how I understand it to work. And then the following week will be Monday, Thursday, cohort A, and then it would be Tuesday, Friday, cohort B, and then that Wednesday. And it'll all be spelled out for you, so you don't need to write this down right now. We'll make sure you get that information. Everybody's on the same page. I want to back up just a little bit about this great learning opportunity that I just talked about. The only way it's really going to be a great learning opportunity for everybody is if you guys really take serious the online learning. So on those days when you're not at the automotive center and our teachers have given you some work to do, and it's meaningful work because we have access to Ford, to Chrysler, to a CDX online training program. So in automotive, we're pretty well covered. We've got some really good, uh, you know, online training programs that the pros use, and our teachers are familiar with it. They know how to use it, but they're going to give you some homework. And when you're at home and you're online, we want you to do that work. And if you get stuck and if you don't understand something, just write down some questions. All of our guys are real easy to talk to. Nobody's going to bite your head off if you come into school the next day and say, hey, yesterday online, Mr. Graham, I just didn't understand this. And then you tell him what you didn't understand. He's going to answer your questions. So by saying that, if everybody does that, if everybody gives it their best when they're at home online, they can take you out to the shop. And I've talked to the instructors, and they can't wait to get out to the shop when there's 7 or 8 of you. I mean, it's going to be amazing to have a class of maybe 7 or 8 students in the shop opposed to, a normal year where you have maybe 19 or 21 students out in the shop. So you guys will really get some good one-on-one training. And for that, I'm excited. I mean, I think you guys have a great learning opportunity. And like I said before, I truly believe that. Okay, so some of you are coming in the morning. And if you're coming in the morning, we start at 9:20 in the morning. And then the morning group finishes up at 12:05. And then the afternoon group comes at 12:45. And they dismiss at 3:30. And many of you will probably be driving a car, which is fine. And when you do drive your car, you're going to need to park your car on the street. And I would suggest before August the 13th, some afternoon or some weekend or whatever, drive downtown to 1219 South Lafayette Street. That's our address. It's 46802. And the Automotive Center is right there in the corner of Lafayette and Lewis. And Douglas Street is on the south side of the building. You can park on Douglas. Lewis Street is on the north side of the building. You can park on Lewis. And it's a very safe place to park. There'll be plenty of places to park on the street this year because we only have half the students. Because some of you will be coming in Group A and others will be coming in Group B. So there really shouldn't be any problem with that. Now, I told you earlier that we start at 9:20. If you get there at 9:15, I would suggest park your car, grab your things, lock your car doors, roll up your windows, and come on inside the building. And I will be inside there for the first couple of weeks, making sure everybody knows where to go. And we're going to get you to the right classroom when you come in. What has changed with COVID is that we can't have you guys congregating and socializing and doing those fun things that the kids did last year because we have tables and chairs set up in our commons area and it was fairly typical for groups of students to eat their lunches, to play cards, to just hang out and chill. And unfortunately, guys, we can't do that at least first semester. And just like you, I can't wait for things to break and change, and we can go back to doing some of those old things. So come in the building, have your mask on. If you don't have a mask, we're going to provide a mask for you. And then go to your class. So if you have Mr. Van Pelt for auto collision, you go to Mr. Van Pelt's class. Now, guys, there's only 6 classrooms, so it's not going to be hard to give you guys directions the first couple of days to get you to the right place. So don't have any anxiety over finding your classroom. It couldn't be simpler to find a classroom at the Auto Center. And everybody's going to be there to help you the first few days. and get you to the classroom. So you get there, it's maybe 9:17, 9:18. We'll get classes started at 9:20. Now, if you get there at 9 o'clock, I'm going to give you a choice. I would say either just sit out in your car till it gets closer to 9:20, or if you do come in at 9 o'clock, I'm going to have to ask you to go to your classroom. Now, of course, you can go to your locker, get whatever you need out of your locker, go use the restroom, get a drink of water, but I'm going to ask you to go back to your classroom and wait with the 7 to 9 other students that are in your classroom, and your teachers will get started at 9:20. Afternoon will be a little bit different because you might be driving from your home high school. Some of you guys are going to be coming from Homestead and Carroll and Snyder and all over the place, and you might swing by and get a sack lunch. And I think I haven't included this with all your instructors, but I believe if you got there at 12:25 or 12:20, I'll let the guys talk here for a minute. Eat your lunch in your classroom, but what I would ask is that you take your trash out before 12:45 so that you're not filling up the trash cans in the classroom. And we're pretty easygoing group of people to work with. So, if it's 12:44 and you get up and walk out and put your trash away, get back there at 12:45 and it's cool. Everybody will be fine. We don't have bells, but we're also, we're going to hold you accountable. We don't want you coming in at 12:50 because you're out throwing your lunch away. We want to get classes started on time and make sure that everybody gets what they came down here for. So we're using the mask on the move. I guess that's the new saying. And when you're on the move, when you're walking around the building, put your mask on. If you're in the classroom and we can social distance and there's 6 feet between you and your table partner or whoever the desk mate is in your classroom, if you're over 6 feet, you can take your mask off. Same goes in the shop. Now in the shop and in the classroom, there's going to be times when you're going to be with a partner and you're going to be working closer with that person. Well, put your mask on. So have that mask ready, and we're going to provide one for you every afternoon or every morning when you come in. Parents, if your child says they're sick and they don't feel good, Fort Wayne Community Schools, and I think all the schools in Indiana are telling students to stay home. If you've got a stomach ache, if you feel achy, just don't feel right today, stay home. But call us at the auto center. You might want to write this number down if you don't have it. So it's 467-1041 or 1040. 1041 is my number. If they're sick, I prefer you call my secretary because she does the attendance, and that's 1040. So 467-1040, and just simply give the name of your child and that they're ill, and she'll make sure they get that marked appropriately. So there's really no gatherings in large groups anymore. And if you guys could just abide by those rules, we're going to have a great year. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you guys to learn. I'm going to go to the chat box. If you have any questions for me, I'm going to be watching the chat room, so send your chats to me. And if you need to talk to me tomorrow or send me a message, call me, email me. I'll do whatever I can to answer your questions. So with that, I'm going to go watch the chat room while these guys talk about expectations and what you need to know for their classes. Anything I missed, Jim, that you want me to talk about?
No, I think we're good. We'll pick up the rest.
Okay. All right. I'm going to look at chats.
All right. So we've had about 15 joins since we first did our little round. We'll reintroduce. My name is Jim Graham, automotive instructor. I do automotive electrical, electronics, and heating and air conditioning. In my class, what we are primarily going to be doing is we'll start out with Hands-on electronic boards. Let me back up. We will all cover safety first. We all pretty much do safety the same way. And we'll cover safety, and then we will do some hands-on learning. We have electronics boards where we'll learn about meters and electricity, and then we'll transfer that out. We'll head out to the car. We do batteries, we do charging systems, starting systems, electrical accessories, and then heating and air conditioning. Primarily in my class, the hope is that you can get the bookwork done at home so that when we're together, we can focus on the hands-on learning. I know Mr. Van Pelt popped in, so he's wasn't with us earlier. Let's hear from Mr. Van Pelt.
Good evening. I teach auto collision, and what we'll be doing is both hands-on and the online learning. It's very important we get through safety. We're then to go to the introductory of auto collision. Anything you would see in a body shop is what we're going to be doing as far as refinish, non-structural, structural, and mechanical repair for second-year students. They'll also be working on Chrysler. We work on the SP2 just like the rest of the automotive instructors. So the biggest thing is take advantage of this. You can take this serious, and if you want to do this for a career, this is a wonderful opportunity. If not, it's still a wonderful opportunity, and maybe at a later date you would fall back on this if something changes. But yeah, take advantage of this. It's a wonderful program. I graduated from there back in '83. Mr. Watley, a former instructor here that just retired, graduated from here, I think in 1980. So it's a wonderful program, and just take advantage of it.
All right, Mr. Burrick.
Good evening again. Mr. Burrick's my name. I teach the engine performance. If we have time, we get into a little bit of automatic transmissions, but I spend most of my time in engine performance. Breakdown of my class, obviously it's going to be different this year. It's just imperative that when we do start doing the online activities, that we all stay on pace with it. So hopefully when I do get you in the actual building, that we can be out in the shop and we can spend less time in the classroom. It just all really depends upon what we get done online and what the understanding level is. And obviously for every instructor, and you gentlemen and ladies also, it's going to be a different experience. And we understand that, and we're going to be patient all the way around. As far as the engine performance class, there will be times that I will instruct out in the shop, and then we will get to the cars. There'll be times that we will be in the classroom, and maybe the following day that I have you, we will be out in the shop. Like I said, this is all new for everybody, but we'll all get through it. And I'm telling you right now, Mr. Roebuck hit the nail on the head when he said smaller class size. You give me 5 to 6 to 8 students out in the shop, it's unbelievable. It's totally different for students that have already been down here last semester. You guys know, and ladies, when you have 13 to 17 students out in the shop, it's tough. It's tough on the instructors. It's tough on you guys. So with an A and B, it's going to be pretty cool out in the shop, I think. I'll turn it over to Mr. Seaman.
My name is Mr. Seaman. I teach automotive brakes, steering, and suspension. General breakdown of my class is we'll start off with brakes. So we'll learn disc brakes, drum brakes, how to diagnose machine brakes, how the brakes function with the hydraulic systems and ABS components. And then we'll move on later in the semester to steering systems, so rack and pinion, gearboxes, and then alignments and tire balancing and stuff along those lines. Like they said, I'll be utilizing the SP2 for safety at the beginning of our course. The key is, though, for everything is what we do in the shop will be in the shop, and then when you're not in my class, you'll be required to do online. We got to keep up on the online so that we can stay on track to keep everything when we come to school more in the shop. Other than that, though, yeah, give it back to Jim Graham.
Okay, not with us tonight is Mr. Rickard. Mr. Rickard teaches engines and manual drivetrains. He has a summer job. He does driving up on the Macwood Dune rides. So he's driving tonight, and I think he drives through the weekend, and then he's back with us. So he's got kind of a cool summer gig. In his class, he covers engines and pretty much everything, tearing engines down, measurements, precision measurements, and how the engine functions. He also does several weeks on manual drivetrains, differentials, gearboxes, driveline. I'm not going to try to go into a lot of detail, but there are 4 of us, Mr. Bruick, Mr. Seaman, Mr. Rickard, and myself. We are what we call auto rotation, and we're part of a 2-year program. You'll have each one of us for 1 semester. Mr. Van Pelt's auto collision course is a 1-year course. If you're in auto collision, you'll have him for the entire year. But with each of us, you'll have us for 1 semester, and then after Christmas, you'll rotate to a new instructor. If you're down here as a senior, you'll end up having 2 of us in 2 areas. If you're coming to us as a junior or sophomore, you'll have all 4 of us at some point. So, you may not have gotten the exact class that you had hoped for. I wanted engine performance, but what you don't understand is you're coming down to us for 2 years, and you will have engine performance. If it were a perfect world, you would have the electrical class and the engine class before you have engine performance. And we do what we can to make that happen. Doesn't always happen that way, but it makes your life a lot easier if you have had, in any combination, those 2 classes before engine performance. All of us pretty much follow some basic guidelines. When you come to class, you need a 3-ring binder. It doesn't need to be super thick, 6 inches or anything silly like that. About 1.5 inch binder, 3-ring binder will hold all of the materials that you're going to get in my class and pretty much everyone else's as well. You can certainly at the end of a semester take, say you had me first, you could take my stuff out and build on it with your next class. My suggestion is if you can afford it, have a binder for each class. That becomes your service manual. When you go out to the shop, it's your reference for you to work from. So a 3-ring binder, a pen and a pencil every day. Even though we're doing hands-on, we will be doing writing, and as an auto tech, we do some writing. Safety glasses are provided for you. We will give you your first set of safety glasses. They're generic, they're 1 size fits all, and we are unfortunately not all the same. If your safety glasses don't fit you well, they'll fog up. If they fit tight around your face and don't breathe, they'll fog up. And if that's the case, you need to go shopping. Go to Menards, go to Lowe's, go someplace that sells safety glasses. Just make sure that they are clear lenses. No tint is allowed in the shop. So no yellow, no light gray or anything like that. All of us do require safety glasses when you're in the shop. It is state law. Work boots. We require our boots with a safety toe. You're going to need to have a pair of boots. Safety toe is a must. Now, the one thing I wish Mr. Rickard were here. A safety toe, they all meet the same standards. If they're marked as a safety toe, they all have the same crush standards. Last year, he had made the comment that he was going to require steel only. I don't. If it's a safety toe, it's good to go. I don't know what his reasoning was for steel, but you may, while you're shopping, keep in mind the fact that steel toe might be a better option for you, just from the standpoint of you only want to have to buy one pair of boots. And if you're junior, they probably last you a couple of years. You don't have to spend a lot of money. They don't need to be Red Wings or anything fancy. Um, we really don't care where they come from. We just want to offer the student some protection. You know, should something fall off a workbench or they drop a cylinder head on their foot, they are going to get some protection from a safety toe. Slip-resistant sole is also recommended. We don't require it, but I can tell you as a tech working on the shop floor, that is another, it's a really nice thing to have. If you don't have a slip-resistant sole, it's like walking on grease or Vaseline. When you get antifreeze or brake fluid on the floor, it actually hurts your knees if you're working for any period of time. And the slip-resistant sole will actually still grip even when you're on a chemical that we're likely to work with. You know, just remember, half the time is the amount of time you're going to be in our classes. We got half the time. And we like to, in the past, we'd like to say, you know, our shop time versus classroom time is about 50-50. And the only way that's going to happen is if you're diligent about doing your remote learning. I'm going to cover that at the end of the meeting, a little bit about what that's going to look like and what you can expect. One other thing that often comes up during these orientation meetings is, can I bring my own car in? Yes, you can. It has to fit what we're doing in class. So for instance, in my class, when we're doing electrical work, we're not going to be doing a brake job on your car. If we're doing electrical work and say we're testing batteries and you want to bring your car in to test your battery, absolutely. You may bring your car in. Moms and dads, they must have your permission to do that though. We want to know that you understand that they're learning. And as a young technician, I can tell you many young techs break more than they fix, and things do happen. And it is what it is, and it's part of the learning process. And understand that when they're working on their own car, things may happen, and we may end up having to find them an alternate ride to school if they're a morning student. And they finish it up the next day, or the next time we're in the shop, or they may end up having to push it out and get a tow truck. It really all depends how excited they got about working on their car. But things do happen. And, you know, we want you to know we do our best to make sure that bad things don't happen, but we do want your permission before they bring a car in. Students need to have a driver's license, of course, to be driving to the Career Academy. And we will be checking their driver's licenses before we allow them to bring cars in. Mr. Roebuck, I'll go back to you. I see we have 23 chat questions down there. So.
Yeah, I'm going through. I think I might have screwed some of them up, so I'm just going to answer them here. So safety glasses, yes, they are yours to keep. We'll give you those safety glasses that first week of school, and those are yours. If you've got eyeglasses like Mr. Graham has on there, you're fine. You don't need a pair of safety glasses on top of your eyeglasses. So I think you've got you covered there. I'm looking through these questions. I think I've answered, and they've been really good questions too. I think I've answered all of them. People are wanting to know about the cohort A and B. Yes, you'll get that information. I was hoping that we'd be able to give you that information this week. But I was told by my boss that it will be the beginning of next week. We'll get you your, cohorts. And my boss actually is the principal, Mr. Webb, and he's a bit of a gearhead too. When he comes over to hang out with you guys and see what you're doing in the shop, he likes to really dig in there and see what you're up to because he's into pulling tractors. So you have to ask Mr. Webb about his summer of pulling with his pulling tractor, and he likes those high RPMs and turbochargers and all that kind of cool stuff that you guys will be talking about. Then another assistant principal is Mr. Pruitt. I've lost count. I don't even know how many cool cars that Mr. Pruitt has. I know he's got some nice ones. And every now and then he drives them by and smiles and waves at us. And then there is a brand new assistant principal. His name is Riley Johnson. Some of you that go to Northrop High School might know him. He was the assistant principal at Northrop last year. And I'm just getting to know him. He seems like a real nice guy. Don't know if he's any kind of a gearhead or not, but if he's not, we'll get him indoctrinated. So I'm looking also at another question here about masks. Can we use our own mask? Yes, you certainly can use your own mask. I only would advise you to wash it, clean it, appropriately. If you see one laying on the ground, you cannot pick it up and just turn it inside out and use it that day. All right, we want to discourage that. That's kind of defeats the purpose. Question here about, do we have to get the parts to fix our car ourselves if we take it into the shop? I would say sometimes yes, depending on what it is. You would get your own parts. It's possible if you got something in there you're working on, the instructors, we may be able to order something. Of course, you got to pay us then, and we'll take care of the payment on that. But we would prefer you bring in your own part. When we do online learning at home, is there assistance available? Unfortunately, not at this time. Fort Wayne Community Schools is hiring some online monitors, and it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. That's a really good question. So we don't have any assistance right now to help you online. Mr. Graham, do you think there'll ever be a time when you might ask the students at home to do a Zoom meeting and Zoom in with you?
Yes, that is entirely a possible thing. That's one of the things I was going to talk about when I did my online. What I would tell you on the answering the question about the online help, it is my intent, although it's not going to work seamlessly and it's not going to be quick and efficient. My intent is to have a computer up with my email open all the time. There is no telephone in my classroom, but I've already got it set up online so that if a student has a question or a problem, to send me an email, and so I can hopefully get back to them while they're at home that day working online. It's not going to be quick, and I know that's a less than ideal scenario. There is certainly the possibility of opening a Zoom meeting, and I helped a couple of students last spring on more than one occasion. I worked with students through a Zoom meeting. But while we're doing the hands-on thing, especially if we're in the shop, I need to be focused on fingers and arms and things like that. And it's going to be difficult for me to say, yeah, I'm going to stop and help you with bookwork while I've got students out in the shop. That really revolves around a safety thing, and safety is paramount all the time for all of us.
And Jim, you wanted to say something else? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go.
Well, I was just going to say, on the online too, this is not a day off. This is not a time for you to go get a part-time job in the morning or the afternoon because you don't have classes on, Tuesdays or that Wednesday or something. We really want you to plan on, doing your online work during that time when you normally would be with your instructor. Okay. Now, I don't know, it's going to probably vary. Like Mr. Graham said, if you're zooming in, it's going to be live time. If you've got some work to do and you wrap it up in an hour and a half or 2 hours, well, then I guess you can go do some other schoolwork. And that's going to vary from day to day. Jim, we also have another question about uniforms and their shirts. You want to tell them about the shirts that we're going to be purchasing?
Yep. I forgot about that. We have a uniform shirt We have two colors. We have a red shirt for first year students. We have a blue shirt for second year students. You can put your ASE patches on your shirt. That's up to you. But we do ask each student to purchase two shirts. The shirts are from Cintas. They're well, I want to say I've lost the name. It's not Dickies, but they're an oil-resistant type shirt. They wash up well, and we do ask that those be worn when we're in the shop. They need to be clean. And this year, more than anything, you need to be taking your shirt home, cleaning it, and bring it back. Since you're only with us 2 or 3 days, depending on which group you're in that week, that shouldn't be as tough to keep that shirt clean and have a clean shirt with you. But we do have a uniform shirt. We ask each student to buy one. The price on those shirts, Mr. Roebuck, mid-20s.
Yeah, I'd say $25 is what we paid last year for those.
Okay. And parents, if that is a challenge for you, you need to let us know. Talk to us one-on-one and let us know the situation, and we'll do the best we can to work around whatever. We realize boots are more important. In my opinion, boots are more important than the shirt. Boots should be first if you're budgeting. They're going to get safety glasses already, and we're not trying to be a burden here at the last minute. Normally, when we talk in the spring, you've got all summer to plan, and we realize you don't have that this year. But boots are first. A shirt is second, and we ask for two. But if it were washed constantly, I wouldn't know.
Jim, I got a
yes.
question about the shirts. We have a vendor that comes and sizes everybody up. So you don't go anywhere to buy these shirts. We'll have a gentleman come and we'll get sizes and we'll bring everything to you. So you don't have to go out and purchase this shirt. That was a good question from one of our families.
Yeah, we use Cintas, is who we have used in the past, and Cintas will bring in shirts that they can try on and make sure they fit. I don't know with the circumstances we have now if that's exactly how it's going to work this year or not, but we will use a vendor. We'll order the shirts, and then we'll collect the money and pay the bill. So
It'll be mid-September before we start getting shirts out, and it'll probably be the first week of school before we even get sizes, and so give us some time. Be patient, but I would say hopefully by mid-September we'll start having some shirts rolling in.
all right, any other questions you got going down there?
That was my last one. Oh, gloves. That was a good. Do we supply gloves? We do not supply gloves. However, students will buy those rubber latex gloves of the boxes because we took several of them out of lockers when we cleaned out lockers. You purchase those in bulk quantities and keep them in their lockers. Do you guys have anything to say about gloves in your shops?
No, I have no problems with latex or nitrile, even the vinyl gloves. I wear them, but you buy your own gloves and you want to find a pair that fits you well. And one thing that I do not allow, and I would assume the other guys are the same way, we do not allow mechanics gloves. The cloth gloves, the mechanics gloves, cool looking, great. I've got several pair. However, when you're working around moving machinery, a nitrile or a latex glove, if you got caught, will tear, and a mechanics glove will pull you in. And that is a great way to lose a finger, and we do not want that to happen. So, no mechanics gloves. When we're working in a situation where thermal burns are a risk, we have leather gloves for the students to wear. They don't need to buy welding gloves or anything like that. We have that type of safety equipment for them. When they're working in a parts washer, we have the heavy, full length vinyl, they're not vinyl, gloves for them to use. It's just if they want to wear gloves in their everyday work, then they need gloves. To go a step further, even when my students are working with battery acid, I have nitro gloves for them to wear in that situation only because there's the risk for a chemical burn. We do provide gloves in those circumstances, just not everyday use.
And we had a question about shorts or pants. Pants, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
When
pants.
we're in the shop, you must wear a long pant. That is a OSHA regulation, and a long pant is defined where the cuff of the pant touches the tongue of the shoe. So guys, no capri pants. Um, anything else there, Mr. Roebuck?
Yeah, you guys get safety glasses. If we wear glasses, do we still get safety glasses? Yeah, if you wanted a pair of safety glasses, you got a pair of glasses, we'll give you some safety glasses. Actually, I just ordered those last week, so those should probably be in later this week. And I did. I ordered plenty for everyone.
One,
Go ahead.
one word I'd like to add about if you wear prescription glasses. If you wear prescription glasses, it's almost impossible for us to get a safety glasses that fit over every pair of prescription glasses. The size of your face is different. Your glasses are different. For the most part, when you're working in the shop, you can get by with wearing your prescription glasses unless you are grinding, drilling, or doing anything where something might be flying around. And in that case, you should have a pair of safety glasses that fit over your prescription glasses and sit comfortably. It's not a bad idea to have a pair. I have a pair that fit over my glasses. I've got 2 or 3 of them. And when I have a student that wears prescription glasses and they're going to be using the grinder, for example, I give them a pair. But to be honest with you, you really ought to plan ahead and find a safety glass. They're inexpensive, but find a pair that fit over your glasses and fit comfortably and fit well, and have them in your locker.
Yeah, keep in mind because you have that mask on this year, and then you got to figure in the safety glasses. You better be comfortable. So I would, make sure you get the right fit. We got a question here about school delays, and that is a very important question because not all of you are from Fort Wayne Community Schools. And when Carroll High School or Homestead has a delay or a cancellation, are you supposed to come to Fort Wayne Community Schools on those days? I would say if you can and you feel like it's safe and you can make it to school on time, go ahead and come. If you feel like the roads are hazardous and you don't want your son or daughter to drive on the hazardous roads because it's icy out your way, and I know Mr. Graham, he lives out by Leo, and driving conditions are different out on the rural roads in Leo than they are on Lafayette Street beside the auto center. So use your best judgment. All we ask is that you call us and let us know that your child is going to stay home today because the weather is inclement. So if you can make it, great. If you can't, call us and let us know that it's too hazardous for them to come in that day, and you're just going to follow your homeschool's schedule. Now, I think spring break, Christmas break, those kind of things, we're pretty much all in alignment with. There might be a few things like some fall breaks and whatever. Just let us know if you've got a fall break. This year, if it's an A day or a B day, it may be a moot point. If you can do your homework online, just tell your instructor, what you're doing. And we'll work with you on those days when your school may have a fall break or something like that. Is that okay, Mr. Graham and Mr. Bruick, and you guys They've always worked with everybody in the past. Okay. Color of the gloves. I don't believe that the color of the glove matters because I pulled out some blue ones and some orange ones and some purple ones this year. So I don't think color matters, does it, Mr. Graham?
Nope, not at all.
And that is all the questions I see at this time.
One thing,
I
one
appreciate
thing
it.
I would add to the delay schedule is we do follow Fort Wayne Community Schools delays. So even if you're closed, if we have a delay, we follow the Fort Wayne Community Schools, and I don't know the timeline, but we basically start 2 hours late.
Yeah.
And then times are adjusted throughout the day. If you're coming from an outlying school and you're on a delay, you just come when you get out of class and we'll work with it. So,
Good.
all right. So is there anything, Mr. Burrick, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Van Pelt, that you guys want to add before we talk about Power School real quick? Okay. The last thing I'm going to do, I am going to share my screen. And oh, that's not the right screen. It looked like the right screen. All right, now how do I get out of there? There, stop that.
We'll say your emails there.
Yeah, I want there. Are you able to see my screen there?
I am not.
You are not? All right, hang on. Are you able to see now?
No.
Okay, I got a fix for that.
Mr. Graham's a tech guy. I've got confidence in him. He'll get it figured out. If he can't do it, we'll give it to Mr. Brewick. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, hang on here. Let's.
Bad move there, Bob. Bad move.
All right, I am going to share screen and let's see if Power School Learning. I think this will do it. You able to see it now?
Yep, we got it. Beautiful.
Okay, so for the most part, all of us, we use Power School. That is Fort Wayne Community Schools Learning Management System. And all of us have pretty much set up our pages the same way. We have for you a welcome screen, and we are in the process of assigning our students. Honestly, I think that the students that I have in class, if they were to log into the Power School from last year, they'll be able to see the class now. But there's an idea what the cohorts look like, Group A and Group B, and you can just kind of see it's every other day, kind of moving around. Parents, we would like you involved. You have access to this as well. You can link your son or daughter's account so that you can see. But this is where you're going to find your assignments. I plan on, and this is what I did during our COVID last year, is having a page at the very top. I don't have this published right now, that I will put announcements on a daily basis or a weekly basis as they come out, and then assignments. And this page will have the current assignment right at the very top and the current announcements right at the very top. And it's always going to be right up in front of you. All of us do safety, so let's just take a quick look at what safety might look like. You're going to go in on a off day when you're at home, and you're going to find your assignments here. I would have posted up here on that announcements and assignments page what the assignments for the day are. You have a textbook here, you have PowerPoints here, and you'll find your assignments here. So you can click on your assignments and complete them from here. If we're going out to an outside program, you'll find instructions on how to get to that program, how, what your login might be. That'll all be right here. So that's how your assignments are going to be given to you on a regular basis when you are working from home. We'll be covering that when we get together. Right now, it looks like we're going to first meet on the 13th, and we'll cover, that type of thing with you students, right from the get-go, and go through it all in class. We have access to computers in the classroom, but also my understanding is all Fort Wayne Community School students will be getting a device this year for them to work on. So we should be set there. Parents, we have set up so far a questionnaire for contact information. And what we're asking students to do, and then we're going to ask parents to do the same thing, is fill out this contact information for us. One of the biggest hurdles we had when in March they said you're not coming back to the classroom is we didn't have, we might have a phone number for a parent, but we didn't have a good way of getting in touch with parents and students. So we're going to ask you to fill this out. And I've already set it up. Mr. Van Pelt's already got pretty much the exact same thing set up. I think Mr. Siemens is working on it. Mr. Bruick has, or will have it as of tomorrow probably. So we're all going to have the same thing. It's just a little questionnaire so that we have the information from you, how to get a hold of you should we not be meeting in class. Let's see, what else? That's on the parents. Oh, I know one thing I want to talk about. All of our classes are tied to dual credits at Ivy Tech. Every class at the Career Academy is tied to dual credits somewhere at some college level. You will be, as part of your classwork here, you're going to be enrolling in college. And we have a link for that as well. I've got it in my assignments for the first week. With that, students, you're going to need your Social Security number. You're going to be jumping online with Ivy Tech and applying for college. And one of the hurdles is your Social Security number. If you are an international student and you don't have a Social Security number, I have an application for you that you can fill out in pen, and then we send that to Ivy Tech on a fax, and we can still get you enrolled in Ivy Tech through that process. We will be enrolling, most of our classes will be enrolling in Chrysler. We use the Chrysler online training program. And some of you that are returning students, if you have forgotten your login, I can help you with that. But you will be filling out a little questionnaire on that. And for that one, I need the last 4 of your Social Security number. And that stays with you for life with Chrysler. So any program, any training you do with them, it's with you for life. We also are a Ford ACE training school, and we have the ability to register for Ford training. So some of us will be using that. In the case of Ford, you register on your own, and then you just print your certificates, and you'll be turning those in as documentation. We use SP2, Safety and Pollution Prevention, and that is an online training program. All of these are things that that professionals use on a regular basis, and we're fortunate to have some of these programs available to us. So we will be collecting some information. Yes, Mr. Roebuck?
You got a question here. If we aren't FWCS, will ANTHUS information show up on their regular Power School, or do we need to do something different to see the ANTHUS Power School?
So to get to Fort Wayne Community Schools Power School, it is different than your Power School. Like say Southwest uses the grading portion. We will be using the grading portion as well this year. But Power School for Fort Wayne Community Schools is one program, And Power School for Southwest or Northwest or East Allen is one program, and it requires a different login. So the easiest way to get to our Power School, if you've never been there, is through Fort Wayne Community Schools website. And you just go to Google, search Fort Wayne Community Schools Power School, and usually that'll get you there. And we'll have your logins for you that first week. If you are already a Fort Wayne Community School student, it's the same login you've always had. In the past, we've been able to get your logins by now through the gradebook, but since we're transitioning to a new gradebook, I don't believe we have access to your logins yet, but I'm sure it's coming. But you will have to log in to Fort Wayne Community Schools Power School, and then it'll be your Fort Wayne Community School login. Every student, even Southwest, will be given a Fort Wayne Community School email, and it's just first name dot last name at fwcsstudents.org. And we try to use generic logins for most of our stuff, like SP2. I've already set up SP2. First name dot last name fall 20. And it's pretty simple stuff to remember, and your passwords, we're trying to make your passwords easier to remember this year. Chrysler, nothing I can do about it. It's always a random 8-digit make no sense password. It is what it is. Ford, you get to set your own password, so you can use your favorite one as long as it's long enough. Any other questions popping up there?
We had the question about the 2-hour delays in the afternoon. I feel like I haven't worked since March. I can't remember. Do they start at 1:30 in the afternoon when a 2-hour delay normally at 9:20 would be 11:20. What time do we start in the afternoon, guys?
When the students get there, I don't remember.
Yeah, for some reason I'm thinking it's 1:30 though, isn't it?
It is 1-something. 1:20 was sticking in my mind, but.
To the parent that asked that question, I will have to get back with you on that.
Well,
I think it's 1:20 or something.
I will
like
find
that.
it once we find it. I will have that posted in Power School.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep, and then
It's
that
on
way
it's in my office, but I'm not in my office right now.
Yeah, I have it hanging on my wall next to my desk in the classroom. But
So you can't remember either, huh? Okay, well,
I
good.
only look at it when we have a delay, and I go, "What time we starting?"
I think the administrator should know what time we start with a 2-hour delay in the afternoon. I can't. I'm thinking it's like 1:20.
I think it's 1:20.
You think it is, Brad? All right.
Think
We'll
so.
go with 1:20 for what it's worth.
Sure.
Jim, you get the right answer and put it up there.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
All right. So the last thing, if you came in late, I have been recording this. I'm going to attempt to edit out the beginning where we were just kind of talking and stuff. But I will have this posted on YouTube within a day. If you missed any part of the beginning, you're welcome to bore yourself to death and go back and watch it. But I really do appreciate all of you coming tonight and spending a little bit of time and finding out how this year is going to roll out. And, the best thing I can say is stay flexible, because this is a new plan, and this is uncharted waters, and there's going to be some bumps, and we're going to do the best we can to make this a great year. Any of you guys want to add anything?
Well, the only other thing, the question keeps coming up about when will we find out whether we're A or B? And when I say that FWCS will be contacting you, FWCS is me, is your instructors. So that may mean we may be calling you next week. I may be emailing you next week. I may ask your teachers to be contacting their kids in their classes. I don't know how you're going to find out, but we will make sure you find out. And if you don't know by the end of the week, please contact me. Call me at 467-1041. Call me or email me. Just hound me, because you do need to know by the end of next week if you haven't been notified. I'm going to give you another phone number too. Teresa Gallmeyer will have a list. Her number is 467-1040. She's our automotive secretary, and we'll make sure she has a list too. You can call and hound her, but definitely by Wednesday or Thursday of next week, if you still haven't heard, start calling us, and we'll get you that information, whether they're an A or a B. Okay, does that sound fair? All right, good.
Don't forget email. The letter that went out, I'm sure has my email address on because I've gotten too many emails that it had to be on there. Feel free to email us as well. And, if you want that schedule or, whatever, just let us know. Until I get back to school, that is the best way to contact me or all of us instructors is through email. And we're all checking at least daily. So
Yeah, you guys will know too by next week whether a kid is an A or a B. You'll know. So, thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time tonight. This is great.
All right. Well, y'all have a good evening and thank you.
Okay, we'll sign out.